Hi everybody, Crochet CJ episode 11. Carla here in Chile, Oklahoma. I'm a wife and mom and midwife, and I'm a born again Christian, and I love people enough to tell them that. It's been a beautiful week. We rang in the new year. I didn't really recap my podcasting stuff or my crochet because I really haven't been doing it that long. But now it's 2019 and it's time to have some new goals. I kind of like Jane from Scraptastic Yarns saying that perhaps we should say intentions instead of goals, because a goal seems so rigid, and I mean intentions, we all have good intentions, right? And again, you know, it's great to have those ideas that you want to do and the things you want to get done. And I'm not telling you to abandon your resolutions or whatever you want to make before you're even started. But you know, don't overwork yourself or put too much pressure on yourself. The world does enough of that for us, right? I also really like Posh Pooch Designs video where she talked about crochet discouragement or disappointment. I know I'm saying that wrong. I can't remember which it is now. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Where, you know, we do as crafters take a lot of time to, you know, pick out just the right yarn, even if we're picking from our stash. I mean, I have beautiful yarn in my stash. And even if I don't go out and buy the yarn specifically for what I'm making you, I take time to pick the right yarn from my stash, a color I think you'll like, you know, the way it feels, things like that. I mean, you know, we're all about squishing that yarn. We like that. It's like Mr. Whipple and the Charmin, squishing the Charmin. We're yarn. They should make a great commercial for yarn like that. They could have Mr. Whipple. Mrs. Whipple could go squeeze the yarn. Okay, sorry, moved away from that. But yeah, we do spend a lot of time in picking the right pattern and something you think, I want to give things to people that I think they'll use, that I think are beautiful, that they'll think are beautiful. And sometimes I do ask them, do you have a preference, you know, on certain colors or on certain things, and I make sure they don't have allergies to things, you know, before I do that. So, you know, and when people just kind of go, you know. So I responded to Sarah's comment by saying, yes, I found out that sometimes there are people who are not crochet worthy. And I didn't coin that phrase. I heard that. I've heard that on other podcasts. I've heard that from other people. There are just people who don't appreciate anything. I mean, I'm a quilter. And I've made quilts for people, and they're just like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Or, you know, they want you to do something for them, and when you tell them how much you're going to charge, and I mean, I don't charge to make money off things. I just kind of try to recoup a little bit of reimbursement for my time and stuff when I would make quilts and things, and they just look at you like you're crazy for wanting to charge that much, because they don't get the time and effort that goes into it. So just know that if someone is not crochet worthy or quilt worthy or craft worthy or whatever, that's their problem and not yours. Because there are lots of people out there who are crochet worthy and who really, really love those things that you make for them. Okay? Just saying. Okay, so let's move on. Finished objects. I do have a couple. I was doing a pattern test for someone really special. I did complete that on time and turned in all my notes and everything, and did a picture for them. And as soon as they release that pattern in the next couple of weeks, I think it's going to be, you know, I will be showing you that item, and you can even go and look at it on Ravelry because it'll be for sale there. And I'm just telling you, you're going to love this pattern just like I love every one of this person's patterns, because I own every one of their patterns. This is the first time I've done a test for them, and I was thoroughly honored. It was like, you know, getting to go see the Queen or something. I was just like, oh, you know, so I know. I get a little excited about yarn and crochet and patterns and okay. Anyway, so I can't show you that one. My other finished object for this week is this beautiful Zines and Rogers Granny Chevron cowl. Okay, and then I made that. It's for a dear friend of mine. I had to wait until I could find a color of yarn that was close to Minions because she loves Minions. Okay. And I made a easy granny beanie hat. This pattern is from Melanie Ham, and she's got a tutorial on YouTube. It's really great. Melanie's been sick and in hospital and stuff, and I mean, I'm not going to tell her story, that's hers to tell, but you can actually go to her blog or to her website, which is melanieham.com, and then you can do the / in an instant. She did a little blog about what's been going on with her health and why she's been off, you know, social media and emails and things like that because she's been ill, and just, you know, knowing that, I'm so happy that she's recovering. I know Melanie probably does not watch my podcast because she's a busy lady. Most people probably don't, that, you know, do a lot of podcasting and you know, Instagram and all that kind of stuff. I have an Instagram account. I have a Twitter account. I've never taken the time to even play with them, so I really don't hardly ever post on them, and I should, but yeah, I just haven't taken the time to figure that out because I'd rather crochet. And I know you guys know that. So just say a little prayer for Melanie, that she's getting better and feeling better and stuff like that, and I'm very thankful that that she's better. The yarn I used for this beanie and for the cowl is Lion Brand Velux. You know, I used the Bernat Velvet for the other ones that I made for my fellow midwives, and I like that yarn just fine, but Lion Brand came out with this Velux, and it's very similar. I think it's a little like thinner maybe than that because it took me more rows to make that cowl than it did with the velvet. But they have a few different colors. Some of them are very similar to the Bernat Velvet colors, but then they had this really pretty, it's called Marigold. Okay, those of you who got that Marigold yarn from Knit Crate, that's just a little inside joke. Isn't this really what Marigold should look like? Anyway, it's beautiful. I love it. I need to go find some like garnet colored or something and make myself one of these cowls with the stripes so it looks like a Gryffindor scarf, right? Wouldn't that be perfect? Anyway, this Velux is, it says it's a medium number 4. It's 100% polyester, and it recommends an H crochet hook, which is what I used. It's 246 yards in 150 grams. It says machine wash, lay flat to dry. You know, it's just really pretty. I really like it. Now, I will tell you, the velvet, when I frogged it, because I didn't like the way the first scarf I was making turned out, it like exploded in fuzz if it got caught. This one, I had to frog a couple of rows because I messed up, and it just like was like butter. Now, I did notice when I was weaving in my ends that the very end of it, like when I did my end weaving on the hat and the scarf, that when I pulled it through with the needle, you know, the yarn needle, that it did at the end kind of fray off. But the rest of it just turned out beautiful. Anyway, I loved it. I think it's really pretty. And I like the velvet. I don't have a problem with it. You just have to be careful that you don't have to frog it. And it didn't like destroy the integrity of the yarn. It just kind of fuzzed up a little bit and blew off little pieces. It was like, you know, in the summer when you blow the little, those little things. I know, there's a name for them and I can't think of them. Whatever. So that's all I really have done this week. Works in progress. Right now, I just have been doing something that's pretty easy because when I finished up, you know, the project for the test pattern and stuff, I want to get started on what I'm going to talk to you about next after WIPs, but I just wanted something that was kind of easy to do so that I would have something to crochet in the car or at work or, you know, whatever, waiting for things. So I am making it's just kind of the granny squares that I was making for those bags. So I made like This is like number 18. So I've got some solid ones, and then I've got some that are multicolor. And what I decided I would do with them, at first I was going to make a baby blanket, but then I decided, you know what, a tote bag would be really cute. So I'm going to use that for the sides, you know, for the front and back, and then for the sides and the bottom of it, I'm going to use this fettuccine. It's like a navy, and I mean there's different colors in there. So, but I'm going to make the sides and the back out of this, and then I don't know what I'll do for handles. I might use yarn. I might use that fettuccine t-shirt yarn. Who knows? The yarn I used for those, I got the granny square pattern, was just the same granny square pattern that Claire Wilson has on Claire has on Bob Wilson 123. It's just, you know, the granny square pattern off that, and so that's what I just used it. And then the yarn is Red Heart Super Saver. I have cherry red, dark orchid, royal, bright yellow, shocking pink, spring green, and orange. I don't know if the name of the orange one is orange or if it's a different name. It might be tangerine or something. I can't find the ball band. Who knows what I did with that. I tried to shove them down in the bag. Oh, and yeah, did you see my pretty bag? So yeah, I really like Vera Bradley anything, and I get emails all the time that they have their outlet on sale 30% off. So like all their clearance stuff is 30% off. So I think I paid like $12 for this tote bag, and it's really nice. You can fit quite a bit of yarn and stuff in it. And then the other thing is it's got little pockets, and it's even got like pen pockets. Well, guess what fits in a pen pocket? A crochet hook. Ta-da! I really have not been drinking anything except tea, okay? I'm drinking some Twinings pumpkin spice chai tea. I know pumpkin spice season is over, but I like it, so I'm drinking it anyway. And that's all I'm drinking is tea. I'm just crazy. And I like to have fun, even if it's sitting here in a room alone talking into the camera. So then my 2019 goals. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those. Basically, my 2019 goals are sweaters and amigurumi. So, you know, I still want to make this, it's called the Orlaith Robe Sweater, and it's a Celtic cable sweater. And the book is Celtic Cable Crochet, and it's from Bonnie Barker at Bonnie Bay Crochet. And I mean, I like so many things in this book, and I want to make more things in it, but I really want to get started on that. And the only reason I haven't started yet is because I want to start it when I'm well rested and I have time to pay attention to the pattern. I'm not distracted by other things. So, you know, when you're taking a break really quick here, or you're in the vehicle and stuff like that, it's really hard to concentrate on a book or something like that. You know, you kind of need to have yourself all set up to go. And so, you know, I've got my wool that my beautiful friend Mary sent me from Ireland, and it's in my Z Yarn is Life bag with all my pins on it. Now that I finished that other project, I put it in there because I needed a big bag for it. So I've got my wool, and I've got my buttons, I've got my book. That's good. The next sweater that I want to make after I finish that one is the Anvard cardigan. And I know you guys have seen, I showed you my everyday wearables from the Crochet Project, this book that I ordered, and this is that cardigan. I just thought it was really pretty, and it looked like something I would be able to accomplish, and it kind of reminded me of like Fair Isle or something. And so I don't know what yarn I'm going to use for this one yet, but I am going to make that. And then the next sweater I want to make, so I was watching the Crochet Circle podcast with Faye, and she showed this Esja sweater pattern. It's a paid pattern on Ravelry. I don't know what yarn I'm going to use for it, but she just described it so beautifully, and I thought it was the coolest sweater. I don't know if the lighting's gonna blow it out or something. I don't know. Anyway, isn't that gorgeous? And again, I don't know what yarn I'm gonna use for that, but I purchased the pattern, and that will be my third sweater I want to make for 2019. I guess every year of the sock for a lot of people, but mine apparently is year of the sweater. But that's because I've never made a sweater, and so I'm like, I wanna do that. And then I want to make some amigurumis, like Harry Potter amigurumis, because I'm a big Harry Potter nerd. Have I shown you this sweatshirt yet? Midwife, because my Hogwarts letter never came. Okay. Okay, I know. I'm an old Harry Potter nerd, but it's all good, right? I'm a Star Wars nerd too, and I come by that honestly because, I saw the original movies in the theaters when they came out in the 70s. Oh my goodness. But I would like to make, I have patterns. They are not for the names of the Harry Potter characters because, you can't really make, these are patterns that look similar to those, and I'm going to make them look as much like them as I can because they're just for me. I'm not going to sell them or anything. They're just for me. But I want to make Fluffy the three-headed dog, and I want to make Dobby, and I want to make Fox the Phoenix, and I'd like to make Hedwig. I did see some patterns for like the characters from Harry Potter, and I don't know, those look like they be maybe a lot of work, but I might eventually do those, but maybe not in 2019. The other thing, and I'm going to use Red Heart Super Saver for all of those. The other thing I want to make is it's a pattern I got for a Scandinavian blanket, and I'm sorry I didn't really write it down or anything, where to find it, and I will try to put it down in the notes below so that you can see. I know it was a free one from Yarnspirations. It's a free pattern. Ella made this blanket, and it's really pretty. I think she has it on the back of her sofa sometimes, and I got the Red Heart Cherry Red and Aran colors to make it with, and so it's just those two colors, and it's really a beautiful blanket, and so I want to make that this year too. But that probably will be late in the year because the sweaters definitely are going to take my time. The reason I'm thinking I do the sweaters first, well, it's still kind of cool and it's easier to work on those, and then in the summer when it's warmer and stuff, I can work on those little amigurumis because they're small and you don't have like a bunch of yarn laying on your lap and you're getting hot and stuff like that. So acquisitions, believe it or not, the only yarn I've acquired this week was, I did buy the yarn to make that cowl and hat for my friend. I just bought a couple of cakes of that Velux. And then I'll tell you about the other yarn I bought this week because it's not for me. Anyway, so I ordered some more Crochet Luna's buttons, and look what she sent me. She sent me a little Merry Christmas card with a peppermint stitch marker and an angel stitch marker. I love angels. And of course, there are teas. Coconut mango. This Touch Organic mango green tea is really good. If you guys haven't had it, you need to try it. And then here's some Christmas black tea from Twinings. And then some Tazo glazed lemon leaf. I like pretty much any kind of tea, so I'm all good with it. But I did order buttons from her. Yes, I am a yarn enabler. I haven't put them on bags yet because I wanted to show them to you guys before I did that. And then, look, because I'm going to make sweaters, I have a sweater product pin to go on my sweaters bags when I'm making my sweaters. This one says, happiness is crochet. Well, duh. We know that, right? Oh, I'm fixing to drop all this stuff in the floor, so I'm going to have to put it over there. Sock project, I have bought a sock pattern. I am going to make at least one pair of socks this year. I would like to make socks for the sock along, Claudia, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to get more than, I've never made them anyway. Crochet Clan, I really think that's kind of cute. I like that. I am a member of the Crochet Clan. It is my clan. And then shawl project, because I like to make shawls too. I make a lot of those too. So I'm just excited. I love those little pins and stuff. And then I ordered some stitch markers. I know, I know. I don't need any more stitch markers, do I? But I found these on Etsy because I love sheep, I love llamas, and Sheepish Fiber Art. Her name is Wendy Gator, and she's in the UK. And she sent me some Twinings mango and strawberry tea with my stitch markers. I thought that was really sweet, and I think that's going to be a great flavor. And here are my stitch markers, okay? So there's 3 different ones. There's 2 of each. And so there's this little blue one, there's a little black and white one, and then there is, where's my other one? There is another one. This one has all, and see, they're like little balls of yarn is what their fur's made of. So there's this really colorful one, and then there's a black and white one, and then there's one that's all blues, but they're little balls of yarn. Okay, that's what they look like to me anyway, but they're just really cute little stitch markers, and I'm excited about those. And you know, because I have 2 of each, some of the duplicates may find their way into a giveaway at some point. My other acquisitions were actually gifts. One of my sweet friends, Jerry, at work, she gave us all our Christmas, and it was after Christmas because I was kind of off and she was off, and we weren't there the same day, so I actually didn't get this until yesterday. And she gave me a bag, and it had some really good candy in it. If you haven't tried the Oreo candies, oh my goodness, those are yummy. And she gave me some of these aloe infused socks. Oh, they feel so good. I can't wait to put these on. I'm gonna wear them to bed so that maybe they'll soften up my tough old feet. And then there was some lotion in there, some really nice lotion, and there were some peppermint candy canes, which, you know, I've had peppermint's like one of my favorites. So, and then another one of my friends at work, Melissa, she said, I've got this yarn and I'm not ever going to use it. And it's mostly vintage yarn because some of the ball bands are pretty vintage looking. Anyway, now this is Red Heart Super Saver, and it's called Wildflower. And I guess they still make this color because I think I saw it when I was at Walmart today. And I guess I've just never paid attention, but it is really pretty colors. So I don't know what I'm going to make with that, but I'll make something. And then the other thing, the other yarn that I purchased, Mary's Bag of Wool. See, Mary, I can say things the way you say them, just like you say things the way the Yanks over here say them. I'm just teasing Mary, you know that. So she knows a couple of the skeins of wool I'm sending her, but I found a couple of more that I think she'll like, and so she's going to be getting those too. And then I just have to think of something really good to send her along with that. So I don't know yet what else I'm going to send her with that wool, but I'll think of something. You know, she's talked about the expense of shipping, and I guess it's more expensive for us to ship to Ireland than it is for them to ship to us. But you know what? I would just pay just about anything to see her excited and see her open that package and see yarn that she doesn't get to see on an everyday basis, or yarn that she especially wants. And so I'm okay with that, you know. If anybody has any ideas of cheaper ways than the U.S. Postal Service to ship to Ireland, I'm all ears, because it is a little bit of money. And like I said, it is what it is. If you're going to ship it, you got to pay for it, and I'm fine with that. But I haven't checked like UPS or, I mean, FedEx or anything like that. I've never checked with them to see what their rates would be for sending something. But if sending something through them as opposed to the post office means it's going to take even longer to get there, then I don't even want to mess with that. You know, the post office does a good job. They've always gotten my packages where I'm sending them, and you know, it's not like I send something every day. So I am more than happy to send those things. Anybody who wants to do a yarn swap or just has a certain yarn or something, you know, I'm 30 minutes away from Hobby Lobby, and well, I'm 20 minutes away from Hobby Lobby, 30 minutes away from Michael's and Joann's, and of course there's Walmarts everywhere. You know, and if somebody out there doesn't have access to those things and maybe doesn't like to order online or something like that, you know, holler at me. I'll see what I can do to help you out. You know, if you want to do a little yarn swap or something like that and you want some yarns from those specific places. And, you know, I was talking about giveaways and maybe some stitch markers finding their way into that. So speaking of giveaways, so you guys know I had my 200 subscriber giveaway. And Anna from Adventures with Anna won. Well, she lives like an hour and a half from me. So I got this bright idea. And it was a bright idea, and it worked out very well. Rather than put all that stuff in a box and mail it to her, she's close enough that we just made a little road trip today, and we went to see her. And I got to meet her in person. And guess what I did not do? I didn't video, and I didn't even take a selfie with her. I didn't even think about taking a selfie until we were well on our way back to the highway, and I knew better than to ask my husband to turn around just to go back and get a selfie. So I told Anna, what I'll do is one day I'm going to get him to not go with me. I don't know about your husbands or your, you know, significant others or whatever. Mine's just a little bit impatient. And of course, this was my thing, to visit my friend. And he was perfectly fine, but he just, I'm sure, didn't have as much fun listening to us yak as we had yakking. And we did have a good time. And it was a good day. It was a beautiful drive. You know, it's not a bad drive. And actually, I had a sibling that used to live in the same town where Anna lives, and so I used to go there when I was younger, a long time ago. So it's changed a little bit, but that's okay. But yeah, I got to go take her giveaway winnings in person, and so that was neat, and to get to see her and meet her and give her a big hug. And you know, we're always hugging each other over the YouTube channels, but it's nice to be able to see somebody in person and give them a big hug and say hi, and just get to meet that person that you've only seen on the video, and to know that, you know, we are really genuine in our love for yarn and the yarny community and one another. So anyway, I have made this video much longer than I normally do because I just talk and talk and talk. I'm like Mary, just a rambling. And I told Mary she could just talk all she wants because we're listening and we're watching and we love it. And we want to get to know each other better. And I think that her idea of making videos around Ireland is wonderful because, you know, when Hannah from Cozy Cottage Crochet went over to the UK and to Ireland and Scotland, and she did video and stuff, to me it was just the next best thing to be in there. It really was. And I will go someday. And I will find Mary and give her a big hug. And she's already told me that I can come and visit her, that's fine, but I have to bring a suitcase full of wool. And I said, that works out good because I'll bring a suitcase full and leave that with you, and then I'll fill it with Irish yarn and bring it back here. If they let it on the plane, I don't know. They may tell me, you're at your limit. No, they won't. Anyway, okay. Again, I'm yakking way too long. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Welcome to 2019. Make it the best year ever. Bye.